This is our plant-based book review. We are reviewing the book Eat to Beat Disease.
I'm Jaira. I'm a sophomore, and my project contribution was author identification, their connection to the book, and their education and experience.
My name is Lauren Hodge. I'm a junior, and my project contribution was research, premise of the book, and main point slides creation and narration.
My name is Zhuoqi, and my part of the presentation focused on evaluating the evidence that supports the author's claim in HUB disease.
I'm Ruby Bennett. I'm a junior and I contributed the research, food list, and feasibility of the diet.
I'm Linnea. I'm a sophomore and I'm contributing to the alternative perspective for cancer, CVD, and diabetes.
And then my name is Ethan, and I'm a sophomore, and I looked at the summary of all of the information we gathered from the book and then made recommendations on whether or not this is good for the general public to read.
Now to start, the author of Eat to Beat Disease is Dr. William Li. Going into his background a bit, he got a bachelor's degree in biochemistry with honors recognition at Harvard, and then he received his Doctor of Medicine degree from the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. Currently, Dr. Li is the president, co-founder, and medical director of the Angiogenesis Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that seeks to conquer disease through angiogenesis. His other occupations include being a medical scientist, author, physician, and speaker. Dr. Li's connection to the book is that after he started studying food as a type of medicine, he noticed that the food industry was unconcerned about health and the health industry was unconcerned about food. So he sought to connect the two to help people become healthier in regards to their food choices.
Okay, moving on to the book's premise and its main points. So, Eat to Beat Disease offers a very thorough understanding of how the human body functions. It provides support for natural methods like dietary change, presenting some new foods into your diet, and also gives you strategies for adopting healthy eating as a lifestyle change, and really doesn't adhere to the idea of crash dieting. The book is divided into three sections. So, part one is Hardwire for Health, Our Body's Natural Defense Systems. Part two is Eat to Beat Disease, Evidence for Food as Medicine. And point three, or section three, is Plan, Choose, and Act, Putting Food to Work. So this just goes over what each part is kind of about. So part one focuses on the human body's natural defense system, so anagenesis, regeneration, the microbiome, DNA protection, and immunity. And it discusses at length how food influences and contributes to either harming or helping these your body's ability to do this. And part two kind of builds on this by giving some clarification and strength to his arguments and providing the ways in which eating certain foods has decreased the incidence of disease. And this is backed by ongoing and recent research. He also compiles a list of foods that are specific to each area, so specific to the five natural defense systems and how you can help better your system through that way. And then part three discusses just kind of how to put this implementation into action. It puts together previous knowledge to create a meal plan that, of course, works on boosting all five of the natural defense systems. And this includes a sample meal guide, recipes, extensive food lists, helpful kitchen and cooking tips, and the 5 by 5 by 5 framework, which is the basis of a sustainable diet.
I will be talking about evaluation of the evidence. In HUB disease, Dr. William Li supports his idea with a wide range of scientific evidence. He doesn't just offer opinions, he shares recent and ongoing research to show how certain foods can actually help reduce the risk of disease like cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. This makes his argument feel stronger and more trustworthy. For example, in the book, he gives real example of how foods like green tea and walnuts have helped lower disease rates in different studies. These examples are backed by data from medical research. which gives the reader confidence that the advice is based on more than just trends or personal beliefs. And also, Dr. Lee like organize foods into categories based on how they support the body's defense systems, like immunity or DNA protection. This makes it easy to see which food target which health issues. But however, it's important to remember that some of the science is still developing. So not every study proves the food will definitely prevent a disease, but many show promising connections. So overall, the book does a good job in presenting scientific evidence in a way that it is easy to understand. Though some claims might feel a bit too confident, while food cannot cure everything, Dr. Lee gives a strong support for the idea that eating well plays a big role in staying healthy.
Dr. William Lee organizes food into 5 categories based on how they support our body's natural defenses. These include boosting immunity, supporting our DNA, and improving gut health. For immunity here, highlights foods like mushrooms, citrus, and ginger for their role in activating protective immune cells. Antioxidant-rich options like carrots, pomegranates, and cruciferous veggies are also recommended to protect our DNA from damage. Gut health is also a major focus. Fermented foods like kimchi and kefir, along with garlic and onions, feed good bacteria that impact everything from digestion to mood. Angiogenesis inhibitors like green tea, soy, tomatoes, and berries help stave off harmful blood vessels that may feed cancer growth. And finally, stem cell activators such as blackberries, lentils, and dark chocolate support regeneration. To make these ideas more practical, Dr. Lee provides a few simple recipes such as the anti-cancer smoothie, which blends blueberries, banana, kale, and green tea that are high in polyphenols and antioxidants. The lentil soup is packed with turmeric, garlic, and greens. That's great for immunity and inflammation. And the Power Bowl combines gut-friendly ingredients like quinoa, kimchi, tofu, and broccoli. And the purpose of these meals are they're supposed to be plant-based, budget-friendly, and easy to prep ahead. So while the foods Dr. Lee recommends are mostly accessible, there are a few barriers to consider. So on the plus side, many staples like oats, beans, and frozen vegetables are affordable and easy to find, making the diet flexible and able to work with various cultural food traditions. However, specialty items like seaweed or kefir might be less available, and not everyone has the time or tools to prep the meals regularly. But overall, the approach is realistic, and Dr. Lee encourages small, gradual changes like drinking green tea or adding berries daily to your diet, which makes it more sustainable over time.
I will be discussing two health conditions from the HB disease, cancer, and cardiovascular disease, and offering some alternative dietary perspectives. For the cancer, Dr. Lee focused on the food that block blood vessel growth, like tomatoes and green tea. This anti-angiogenic approach is interesting, but clinical evidence in humans still limited. A more established alternative is the Mediterranean diet. It's rich in healthy fats, foods, and fish, and it has strong evidence for lowering cancer risks over time. When it comes to the cardiovascular disease, Dr. Lee recommend polyphenol rich plant food, but the SH diet is a well-tested approach that lowers blood sugar to reduce sodium, increase intake of fruits and low-fat dairy. So it's widely used in clinical practice. So while the E2B offers a unique point, and those traditional diets are supported by stronger long-term data. Now let's look at the type 2 diabetes. Dr. Lee promotes plant-based food such as leafy greens, beans, and to support blood sugar control and reduce inflammation, but there are other dietary strategies that are just effective. For example, the low carb or ketogenic diet limits the carbs and have shown to improve blood sugar and reduce the medication use. And also the Mediterranean diet is also effective. It balanced and rich in fiber, which is a strong evidence for the diabetes prevention. And lastly, the personal nutrition is gaining interest. It's tallest diets based on the genes and which can improve the outcome for people with different response to food. So in short, the EGB offers one path, but there is not only the way to back by science.
All right, so I'm going to be talking about whether or not this book should be given to the public and used by like general people that want like everyday um, outcomes. So some positives from this book, it does give great information on nutrition-based health benefits, especially on the certain foods that can help certain diseases and manage them. This is because of his thorough examples and how he has a lot of data to back them up. And then also he doesn't really categorize a specific food as like a superfood. He does mention kale a few times, and kale is a pretty useful vegetable and leafy green for multiple things. So it makes it very easy for to put them into a lot of recipes, but he does not mention it as a perfect food. And then he also gives recommendations on recipes that are easy to make. So with his that he wants to give they're good for people that want to quick and easy meals that are also sustainable. It's mainly because of the simple ingredients. He's not stating a lot of these outrageous foods that you would only find in certain places in the world. He's mentioning a lot of like very commonplace things that most people would have in their kitchens every day. And so there are some negatives to this book. Um, it would not be too good for those that are on a tight budget. This is because it does take a good amount of money for some recipes that require some of these more outrageous foods. Like we mentioned, seaweed is a big one. Um, it also, because prices can also fluctuate with the season because we are wanting those fresh and healthy foods. This can also be problematic for those that are in colder climates that don't really have as easy of access to these fresh foods. And just because the ingredients are simple doesn't mean they're really cheap. And then another thing is that one food alone cannot fix a chronic disease. It kind of seemed like his idea was that you can eat these foods and all of your problems will kind of go away. Um, that is kind of generally wrong because some lifestyle changes would be needed to help promote that healthy lifestyle rather than just eating healthy foods. You would need to probably exercise and other healthy habits um, that would help see any benefits. And if you were only to eat these foods, you would have to eat a lot of them, which could to see any of these benefits, which can also lead to another budget problem for those that are on the more financially unstable side of things.